On episode 95 of the Tony and Josh Show, America's always been a melting pot, but maybe it's time we don't set out the welcome mat as Josh and I complain about Syrian refugees. And may you live long and prosper, or at least long enough to hear which iconic TV show is coming back.
We do not want to know what you do in the bathroom. Okay, maybe we do. Someone has finally taken a survey and released the results. We're going to find out what your dirty little secret is. There's a list of things you cannot bring into the U.S. We're going to take a look at what was recently seized on the U.S.-Mexican border on the next Tony and Josh Show.
Warning. The opinions, ideas, views, emotions, and temper tantrums expressed or otherwise conveyed on the Tony and Josh Show may not and most likely is not suitable for all audiences and therefore should not be heard by anyone unless supervised by an appropriate nanny state. Enjoy!
Yes, this is episode 95. If you're new to the Tony and Josh Show, we're here to inform, entertain, and give you a laugh or two. We've searched the interwebs and found these earth-shaking stories to bring to you tonight.
We don't want to know what you do in the bathroom. Okay, maybe we do. But someone has finally taken a survey and released results, and we'll find out your dirty little secret. America's always been a melting pot, but maybe it's time we don't set out the welcome mat. We all love getting gifts for the holidays, but there's a list of things you can't bring across the border. We'll take a look at what was recently seized on the U.S.-Mexican border.
Okay.
You may live a little bit long. Well, you may live long. May you live long and prosper. How about that? At least long enough to hear which iconic TV show is coming back.
But first, we want you guys to give us a call using our SpeakPipe feature on our website at tonyandjosh.com. Tweet us during the show at Tony and Josh Show, and don't forget to include us in your tweets, and I mean every single tweet, with hashtag Tony and Josh.
Boy, wouldn't that confuse your Twitter followers? What?
We'd love it.
What does that got to do with Grandma coming over for the holidays? Anyways.
But we would absolutely love it. We would love it as much as we love getting the voicemails, wouldn't we, Josh?
Like a fat kid loves cake.
Oh, and with not the Cool Whip frosting either. That honest to goodness 30 weight frosting that's on there.
The stuff that you can repair your stucco with.
And damn right, it lasts longer than stucco too. So,
hey, you know what lasts forever is a voicemail. It lives on in perpetuity forever and ever and always.
Well, you would think so, wouldn't you?
You would think.
And now a voicemail from Nikki G.
Hey, this is Nikki G. And haven't been feeling too well this week. They got me on this new diet where I eat nothing but Greek food. And how do I feel, you may ask? I falafel. Yeah, I know. I want to ruminate on that one a little bit, see if it sets in.
Oh, no, I can smell it from here.
It sounded better in rehearsal.
I
did well with my test audience. But now that I'm thinking about it, it might not be as funny as I once thought. All right, gentlemen, I'll chat you later. You have a good one. Bye.
Oh, there he goes thinking again.
Well, isn't that special? Feel awful. Alrighty, he must keep him in stitches there when he's talking to ground control, when he's taxiing those planes.
They
around.
give him a radio? Oh, dear God.
So all the fun that you can have with your pants on. So, that's as many voicemails as we have tonight. We'd like to have some more. We'd like to have you guys share your thoughts with us and maybe your bad jokes. Just go over to the TonyandJoshShow.com. If you look there on the right-hand side, you will see a little tab that says send us a voice message. Please, God, dear God, please. Actually, I'm embellishing that. But if you click on that, you can record straight there on our website a little message for us, and you'll have up to 90 seconds in which to record something. Pretty much anything that has a microphone and the internet attached to it will work.
That's right. And we do love hearing from you guys. Another way you can do it is also giving us a review on iTunes. I love those 5-star reviews. And if you drop us a comment, we'll be sure to read it here on the show.
Yes. So, unfortunately, we don't have any new podcast reviews this week from iTunes, but we're very hopeful that, Thanksgiving, Christmas will come around. You guys will feel a little motivated to go over there and leave us a review. You can actually give us a review straight on Twitter or Facebook just by going to at Tony and Josh Show or Facebook / Tony and Josh Show. Or I think it's actually the Tony and Josh Show on Facebook. But you can go straight over there and let us know what you think of the show.
So what is happening in the world of news? Well, I got some little tidbits for you, a little bit of noteworthy news. The Harvard Marching Band can't spell, or at least thinks we're all stupid, one or the other. If you're marching around Hollywood and Highland in LA, well, you're likely going to get stabbed. A voice transplant is not that far off, as scientists have grown human vocal cords, and that's just not creepy at all. Different scientists are seeing faces in Mars rocks again. I'm wondering if a new study on mushrooms is happening in that lab. The US dollar might actually be worth something again, or at least sometime soon. Target and Walmart can't compete with Amazon. Charlie Sheen's Tiger Blood can't compete with HIV. The Houston Rockets can't compete at all, so they fire their head coach. And something, ISIS thinks they can build a popcan bomb with bubble gum, something in a paperclip, something. Yeah, the infidels are all going to die, blah, blah, blah. I don't know.
You know, they shouldn't be watching MacGyver.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
That's the problem. The whole problem is
that's the problem is their TV stream is like 20 years late.
Yeah.
And so they're seeing is a 1990s Richard Dean Anderson getting out of different scenarios with bubble gum, rubber bands, and paper clips.
And a mullet.
And one hell of a mullet.
And a hell of a mullet. I tried to watch that because I'd heard so much about the show MacGyver, and I tried to watch an episode.
Loved it.
It was horrible. Absolutely horrible.
I loved it. It doesn't hold up now.
No, that's what I'm saying. God. I watched it recently. It was absolutely horrible.
No, that's not gonna go over so well.
No. But I do still love the toy that you can buy for kids, the MacGyver toy, which is the paperclip. That was brilliant. Even if I haven't seen the shows, I still got it.
You know the merchandise.
So, it's a marketing genius that came up with that one. Anyway, so I just want to take a moment here to thank each one of you. That's why you'll hear their knock on your door here after the show. Thanking
or late at night.
Each and every one of you for taking the time to listen to this silly show, download our stream, and listen to our podcast. We really appreciate you wasting 30 minutes of your time listening to us.
You'll never get back.
You'll never get back. Well, really, what were you going to do anyway? I mean, you may have been going out to commit some crimes, and we saved you from that fun thing. Speaking of which, I didn't put this on the show notes, but I saw on Facebook today that a gentleman was trying to get his girlfriend to smell his armpit.
Oh, no.
And
that's almost as good as pull my finger.
Yeah, and she said, hell no. So he beat and stabbed her.
Well, there's a reason.
It's as much information as I have on that.
I mean, if she hadn't made him a sandwich after being asked twice, that might be one reason. But come on,
make sense. And I was quite sure that Ike Turner was dead, but maybe it's a reincarnation. So I just couldn't believe that. I think my comment to the Facebook post was, well, thankfully, smelling armpits is a Friday night staple at the local prison, so he will get his wish.
Plenty of sniffing wet, stinky cracks, I'm sure.
Oh, I don't know what the hell he was thinking, Josh. Do you? I have no idea. That one's going to be interesting to figure out.
Baby, you got to smell this. Come here.
You won't believe how bad this is. Why the hell would you want me to come smell that then? You're supposed to love me.
You got to come get a whiff of this, honey.
You're supposed to love me, and you want me to smell something bad? What's wrong with you? Well, speaking of what's wrong with me, let me show you this pointy stick. Oh, I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what you're thinking, Josh, but tell me something quick.
The stories you're about to hear are true. Only the names have been changed to protect the stupid.
On October 30th of this year, right before Halloween, Fort Bragg in North Carolina declared an emergency. This was no training exercise. Some dipshit, no rank having private pile-like excuse for a soldier went full retard and got the bright idea to show up for a Halloween party on base dressed as a suicide bomber.
Oh, no.
Complete with realistic-looking canisters and a wired vest and a mock detonator and all. Gates to the post, which are also headquarters for Army Special Forces and airborne troops, immediately went into full extended lockdown. Of course, a full MP response happened within seconds, and a bomb disposal team was also called in as part of a standard operating procedures. Because of the high level of poor judgment, stupidity, and reckless disregard for common sense, the soldier's name has not been released. But I'm sure if he's not discharged, he'll likely be scrubbing toilets and filling out ID-10T forms until his hands fall off.
Holy crap. All I can think of is Headshot. And I can't say, I don't think anybody would blame anybody that. Now, see, this is the reason why Clinton didn't want guns on military bases. Because there was incidents like this happening before. It has to have been.
No, seriously, I gotta know what the fuck you were thinking.
Jimmy Stewart lives.
Well, here's something that's going to live on in perpetuity is a TV series, a little bit of a blast from the past. And I'm actually looking very forward to this with a critical eye, though.
Yeah. So now this is like cracking news. I guess I'll call it butt crack news because this is, they don't even have a title for this thing yet. So Untitled 2017 Star Trek TV series. Now, TV, I don't know if TV should actually be in that title, Josh. So
why not?
The production of the new Star Trek television series was announced in November 2015 by CBS. You know, we're in November 2015, strange as that is. The new series will premiere January 2017, and the episodes will initially be released exclusively through CBS All Access streaming service, aside from a preview episode on CBS.
What?
Internet. It's going to be on the internet. If I'm understanding this
why?
right.
Because they don't think that it's gonna draw enough Nielsen ratings or something. I mean, come on.
I don't know. Well, you know, Star Trek Enterprise, the last one that they had didn't do as well as what they had hoped. I enjoyed it. I don't watch a lot of TV, but I watched that series. I did have some problems with it. But anyway, the first run episode will be exclusively in the United States. Alec Kurtzman, co-writer of the film Star Trek and Star Trek Into Darkness, and Heather Cadden will serve as executive producers. And it will be the first television series to launch on a broadcast network, but primarily on a video-on-demand service. The network is undecided on releasing the episodes weekly or all at once. Hey, all at once would be nice. But I bet you that means we're going to have to pay for it, Josh. The series will introduce new characters. As of November 2015, no official series title or actors associated with the production have been announced. I wonder if they've got any. Or Kirstie Alley may be looking for something. Nor was the relationship of a new series to the existing Star Trek chronology announced. This led to speculation about whether the new series would reprise previous series' focus on the human condition or become a rambunctious sci-fi action comedies in the style of the reboot film series. It is pretty funny, I guess, when you think about it. But some of the original episodes were pretty humorous too. The series will be the first television series of Star Trek since the prequel series Star Trek Enterprise concluded in 2005. Wow, 10 years ago.
Yeah, geez, it's been that long.
And would follow the Star Trek universe after scheduled mid-2016 release of Star Trek Beyond, the third of the reboot series film. You know, I guess it's good that you can have time travel in a series because it pretty much gives you a get-out-of-jail-free card. Oh, you know all that stuff I showed you before? It's all changed.
Okay, I've got several problems with this. First off, rambunctious action comedies in the style of the reboot film series. Now,
I don't think that's right.
I was very critical of what they're calling the reboot film series because, frankly, this we haven't had a bona fide Star Trek movie since the Next Generation films. So when Michael Bay, I think, the director of these last pair of Star Trek films came out,
could be.
I was like, okay, you know, this has some potential, and he made it. Although there were some cinematography issues that a lot of people had, like the lens flare BS of the first one. All in all, was well written, very well filmed, and I think did a good job of living up to the caliber of what people are expecting from the name of Star Trek. You're going to put that name badge on a movie, it had best be good. And it was, aside from a couple of small complaints. And if they're going to do a refire of the TV series, it's going to have to fill some mighty big shoes. I mean, we're talking about some very big stars here, some very beloved stars as well. From the original series that really brought this whole franchise to the level that it's at now. And if a TV series, and And again, why not bring this back to TV? That's where this belongs, not on a, hey, let's just go ahead and throw it on online because we need to get, another NCIS spinoff out there.
15 of them.
Fuck's, I mean, seriously, come on. Enough with the NCI BS. Enough with the reality TV. Bring back some real entertainment.
Scripted reality TV.
Thank you.
So let me just mention, I really enjoyed the reboot. I kind of had a problem with them changing the rules of or the history of the show, but
a little bit, yeah.
I thought Chris Pine did an excellent job as Captain Kirk. Yes. But I will always be in just utter amazement at Carl Urban and his portrayal of Bones. I mean, just beautifully done. It doesn't look anything like him.
Handshake.
It doesn't look anything like Bones, but boy, he just acts and sounds just like him.
Dr. Leonard McCoy.
Damn it, Jim.
You could put a name badge on a character. All script reading and acting aside, there is a certain snarkiness about that
smart
character
ass
that he embodied perfectly.
So, and I'll just do a quick correction. That was J.J. Abrams, the same guy.
Oh, there we go.
The same guy that's doing, the Star Trek, the Star Trek reboot, if you will, coming out here in the next month. So anyway, I'm still looking forward to it. And Josh, we're going to look back in a number of years, perhaps as few as 2 to 5 years, and the A-list shows are going to be coming out on the internet. TV is going to be relegated to those sorry, sad sack people that don't have internet. The few, the 99 percenters that don't have internet and can't watch the first run stuff, because I firmly believe everything's going to be going on demand. And, if it's on demand, it has to be on the internet.
I remember a day and time where, you asked a kid on the playground if you're planning on maybe going over to somebody's house after school. Do you have cable? No?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess. I was like, oh, do you have cable? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. We're going over to his house.
Well, that was the technology of the 80s though. So, it's been a while. So it's time for something to change. I mean, you can't have it the same all the time. We would have stayed in the 50s if that was the case. But,
here's some food that should have stayed where it was made. And it got brought to attention in a place it probably shouldn't have. I'm calling this a sad day for Mexican food. Literally hundreds of tamales were, quote, seized and destroyed. Oh, it's a shame. At the Los Angeles International Airport after agents discovered that they contained, wait for it. No, not heroin. What's that? Did I hear somebody say lube? No, it wasn't that. No, Coke? No, wasn't that either. Well, what was that? But what can you imagine a faster way to get tamales through your digestive tract than a bunch of Coke? Anyways, the contraband in question was nothing more than juicy, delicious pork. That's right, pork. U.S. Customs and Border Protection agricultural specialists found 450 wrapped tamales inside the luggage of a passenger entering the country from Mexico on November 8th. I bet you thought I was going to say they were smuggling them in their butts, didn't you?
Ooh.
Oh, come on.
Well,
we're far too classy. We're far too classy for stories like that.
No, we're not.
According to international custom bylaws, quote, the transportation of pork products across international borders is prohibited by the U.S. government in order to prevent the spread of disease, and not because we are jealous of your tasty cooked meats at all. The traveler attempting to transport the tamales indicated on customs forms that the food was being brought into the country, but reportedly gave a negative verbal response when asked if the food contained pork. The passenger was slapped with a $1,000 fine for commercial activity with the intent to distribute. Although tamales are a popular holiday tradition, foreign meat products can carry serious animal diseases from countries affected by outbreaks of avian influenza, mad cow, and swine fever, said Ann Mariich, or I'm going to call her just stuck-up bitch, acting director of field operations in Los Angeles for the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Look, this is nothing more than somebody just trying to bring their family some tasty Christmas goodies or, holiday goodies. And whatever the case may be, I mean, come on. It's not like, this was a semi-truckload of tainted meat. Now, 450 tamales is that's a lot of tamales.
Yeah.
All kidding aside. But really, how much damage is that going to do?
So how long can you travel with tamales before they start to turn? And exactly how do you know if they're turning or not? I guess it's experience. There's no telling how many thousands of tamales get smuggled across the border every day. And but if the federal government or if the government is concerned about smuggling of tamales into this country, why don't they start cracking down on some of these roach coaches that are selling them on the side of the road? That the gastrointestinal adventure that those tamales are. You know, my dad used to eat tamales out of a can, and that's the way we liked it back then.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
I think it said Ostex on it or something. And it was packed in water. It was safe, and we enjoyed it. It wasn't very flavorful, but it was safe, damn it. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty amazing. And yeah, you know, I think I caught a little, pardon the pun, whiff of this this story a little earlier today, and I seriously thought they had cocaine in around the tamales so that they were trying to smuggle drugs and stuff in and trying to throw the scent off of things.
If you saw the crime scene photos of this bust, you would think that it was. I mean, this, in all intents and purposes, looks like a gigantic drug bust. All these plastic bags and evidence tags and labels and all this stuff. I mean, it looks like something out of a a Mexican drug mafia movie or something like that. I mean, it's really a damn shame because it's really nothing more than just food.
Well, we had some audio of the federal officials explaining to us what they found, but however, we just couldn't understand them because their mouth was full and they were busy chewing.
Hold on.
Oh, damn, this is good.
Almost done.
I mean, 90% of the people in Los Angeles are Mexican anyway, so they don't care if it's coming. I mean, it's like, oh, this tastes like home. So, they know that they're not going to get sick. They're used to it. Alrighty. Well, turning to a more serious note, and I really don't like turning to this serious note. What do you guys think?
We do have to talk about, this border stuff. I mean,
Well, speaking of tamales,
I was going to say tamales coming across the border is one thing, but there's been some stuff in the news, and we're about ready to bring in a whole bunch of refugees across the border, which may not be a good idea, especially considering recent events.
Now, I will mention up front, honestly, I do not have a lot of information about the Syrian refugees, other than it's difficult for me to pronounce, and I just have a queasy feeling about it, in as much as it would be a great Trojan horse method to sneak people into this country. However, the borders are like a hot mess sieve, so people can just cross at will anyway. I mean, there's Canadians out the wazoo here, which is evidence enough that we need border control. Little joke there for our Canadian friends. And I just don't like it. I don't like the whole idea. Well, two things about it, Josh, that I don't like.
Yeah.
I have heard that the vetting process, and I don't know why these people need a Corvette, but the vetting process is not very, very good, so we can't be relatively certain that they are not.
It's barely a verbal checklist on the back of a napkin.
Are you now, or have you ever blowed yourself up? Nah, not me.
So, no, you're right. There's the process is let's just say very, very lack and has not been very definitive.
It's very community organizer-ish.
There was something that I heard today that some senator, governor, I don't know, somebody is going to be putting in a bill to put this whole thing onto a bit of a moratorium until they can figure out a better vetting system.
Well, I think new Speaker of the House, I want to say Ryan. Can't remember his name. It was right there on the tip of my tongue.
That one guy who says stuff.
Yeah, the new Speaker of the House.
The hair in the suit.
Not the guy that cries, the one that was running for vice president time before last or something. Anyway, I read something about he was going to be doing something to have hearings, or basically it would basically put a kibosh on the whole thing for the next several months, which, if you're a refugee, it's kind of hard just to stand there and wait at the border.
Where are these people going to go? That's what I want to know. Are they going to hold them somewhere for the next few months?
No, you can't do that.
No. So meanwhile, we've got some state governors saying, no, not in my house. Hell no. you've got other governors saying, "Oh, sure, bring them on in," despite of what the outcry from the people. Look, I heard a great analogy about this whole situation that really puts it all into perspective. I'm going to ask you this question, Tony. I'm going to give you a bag, and this bag contains 100 grapes.
Mm-hmm.
And in those 100 grapes, 4 of them are full of poison. How many of those 100 grapes are you willing to eat?
4.
And no more.
The odds are that would not be the 4 that are poisoned. And is this like tamales smuggled over the border poisoned, or is it, kill your ass dead poison? Because that makes a difference too.
Because that's really what we're looking at. That is the kind of poison that decides to walk into a movie theater and start opening fire with a fully automatic weapon, or pushes a button and detonates some explosives.
We got enough homegrown people that'll do that. We don't need to be shipping them in from outside the borders.
What I'm saying. Look, I'm all about diversity and ethnic equality and opening up our borders and all that. There is a time and place, and there is a method to getting into this country.
Yeah, there should be.
Not just, oh, I'm sorry, your country's going to shit. Well, come on over. It doesn't work that way. Now, I understand the whole, saying underneath the Statue of Liberty, bring me your
huddled
meek,
masses,
your poor,
right.
Your homeless, your whatever.
And we'll change your last name because we can't pronounce your current one.
Yeah, it's okay. I get it. All right, I'm lucky enough to have a home that has a little bit of extra room in it, and I'm able to help some people out every now and again.
Oh, so you're extending your home to a refugee?
To Syrian refugees. I've got a whole room packed full of them. You wouldn't believe what I can get those people to do. No, I'm kidding, of course. But it's so I'm all about if you're able to, then help. But there has to be a line in the sand, and there has to be an asterisk next to that says, but if you people are coming from a country that is full of terrorists.
What do you mean,
and
you
continue year after year, decade after decade to house them and bring them into your country and not do anything about it, well, then I'm sorry. You're not going to be allowed the privileges that maybe other countries that are going through something similar would be allowed.
Well, it's just like, would you want a Greek politician coming to this country, and making financial decisions?
God, no.
Good Lord, no, because they've run their country into the ground financially. And why would we want them to come over here and run ours into the ground financially? Obama's doing a good job at that with all the trillions of dollars of spending that he's done. So basically, I've got 2 problems with this thing. One is that it doesn't appear that the refugees are being very well vetted. They're not being asked questions. They're not being investigated so that we can have a possible snowball's chance in hell of knowing what their true intentions are.
And even if they are, they're certainly not going very deep with it or back very far. And even if they could, how what's the realistic ability to prove some of this? Well, we're going to need 15 references.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other problem
references, and how do you know that's not all just fraudulent?
And the other problem that I have with it is we're going to spend $62,000 each on these refugees.
Wow. That's more than I make in a year.
Well, a family of 4, they were looking at spending around $250,000 on. So I just did some quick math, and don't freak out on me. And that's where I came up with that $62K. Why in the world? Why on God's green earth? I want to be a refugee. Come on.
Seriously.
And is that tax free? I bet you it's tax free as well. So that's like $780,000.
It is tax. It is tax money.
Yeah, it's tax to them. On us.
Why tax the tax?
Well, because you can.
Because you can. That's why.
That's a silly question. How long have you been in this country,
I'm
really?
Obviously no bureaucrat. That's for damn sure.
So anyway, that's my rant, and that's my concern that I have with this. This is 2 things. Who are these people? What's their true intentions? And I'm sure some of them just want to get someplace safe. And God bless them. I don't blame them. And I think America is a wonderful place to have new people come and integrate into our society. And that's the key word, integrate.
Yeah.
Not try to change the laws to fit a 1,400-year-old religion.
Or turn your block into Little Syria. No, that's not
Well,
gonna happen
you know,
in
the
my
Italians did it. I mean, at least what I've watched on HBO, interesting movies. The Italians did it.
Chinese have done it.
The,
Oh
you know,
my
the Chinese
God,
have
it's
done
spreading.
it. So, you know, it's not unheard of, but integration is what we all need to be working towards, because America is great because it is the melting pot. We first got here, we had to kill off all the Indians, and then it became great. So there you go. I don't want to be one of the Indians, Josh. That's basically what I'm saying.
Your
here.
hate letters to Tony at TonyandJosh.com.
I'm being historically accurate.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Well, here's some accuracy for you in the form of some numbers. And I guarantee you that somebody that you know pees in the shower.
Oh, yeah. It's all pipes. It's all the same pipes. They all go to the same places.
This and other shitty news coming up next. Okay, maybe it's not worthy of an expose on 60 Minutes, but the official numbers are out. 61% of Americans pee in the shower. Now, I don't remember anyone asking me the tough questions, but apparently a whopping 61% of you admitted to regularly peeing in the shower, and 41% admit to pissing in swimming pools. It's the 4% of those who do it from the diving board that bother me the most, but I digress. But the golden shower is just one of the bodily function bits of info that was mopped up in a recent nationwide survey. What the data shows is interesting, or interesting enough to get our attention at least. That there is a good reason why people are so willing to be gross in private. Bathroom is one of the few sanctuaries in your home where you can let your hair down, release the tensions of the day, and just be yourself. Or as I like to say, relax and let the matter drop. That, and people cling to certain habits, whether while using the toilet, bathing, or whatever you were doing in there that you don't want your significant other to know about. Okay, that's all fine and dandy, but just seems like more like common sense than late breaking news. But don't worry, or at least mine doesn't. That was the only pieces of doo-doo data wiped up in the survey. That wasn't the only pieces of doo-doo data wiped up in the survey. 50% of respondents said they fold their toilet paper while wiping themselves, while 30% just wad it up. 60% wipe front to back, while 20% go against the grain and do it back to front. 60% believe in a toilet paper roll should go over the top and in the front, but 13% prefer rolling it under and in the back. Which side of that fence do you fall on, Tony? Over the top or around the back?
I like to do the comb over. And why in God's name is there hair there anyway? I mean, that seems to be the most insane. You know, you talk about Darwin, you talk about evolution. I don't think any of that's true, because there would not be hair where you take a dump.
Oh, God, well, let's hope not. Here's one that I'm guilty of. 43% admit to checking the contents of the bowl before flushing.
Oh, yeah, you got to do that. You got to see what's going on there.
I've given birth to a small planet before. And God damn it, I want to admire my work there every now and again.
You ever done a pyramid? I like the pyramid.
It's the shit bridge that I'm not proud of. Well, 37% of you sick, twisted freaks look at the toilet paper after you're done wiping. What's also interesting are the numbers that were generated from the data about what happens in the public restrooms. It's slightly different, but no less weird. 45% say they cover the toilet seat with paper before doing their business. 36% use their foot to flush instead of their hands. 35% refuse to actually sit on public toilets, preferring to hover over the seat instead. And it's those wall-spattering, tile-freckling, handle-staining bastards we need to take out back and beat with a rubber hose. Have you ever had the misfortune to walk into a stall after one of those people do their business? It's like a goddamn Charlie and Chocolate Factory crime scene in there. There's more brown freckles in that stall than a ginger convention. God forbid you try and flush that poor porcelain potty. You'd pull your shoe back looking like you just ran a 10K through a field of cow pies and pasture patties. If I wanted to try and drop trow in the wake of something like that, I'd go for some lap swims in the water treatment plant.
Oh, jeez.
There's my rant.
I had some stuff to say, but I just got it too much into your rant. That was funny stuff, Josh. You know, I'm thinking of what is it? Yoga, that people they do this yoga stuff and they try to become one, and then supposedly, supposedly if you get really good enough at it, you actually levitate. So I'm thinking there's some major yoga going on in the women's bathroom as these women levitate above the toilet seats. Do you people know that the public restroom, as far as viruses and bacteria and everything else, there's less of that than in your own kitchen?
I might believe that, because I think most public restrooms are cleaned very, very frequently. And there's some deep cleaning and certainly industrial cleansers and
is that
like
true where you work, Josh?
Yeah, actually. Well, I mean, the bathrooms.
You haven't seen a spot in your favorite
there's
stall.
Certainly a lot more traffic at those restaurants.
And which one is your favorite stall, by the way?
I go for the middle.
There you go. And is it why is that? Is that so that you can have the buffer zones, or is it because that's where the best Wi-Fi reception or 4G reception is?
That's because the one stall seems to be the grossest. There's the other stall on the other side, which has a taller toilet. And so if I really want to scoot all the way back, I can let my feet dangle. But no, the seat on that one looks like it had a chemical burn or something like that. So it's kind of rough and scratchy. So yeah.
Again, tamales from Mexico. So it all ties.
You've been to my work.
It all ties in. Yeah. I think some people put cigarettes on the toilet seat sometimes. I don't know what they're doing, and they're reading the paper and standing and smoking their cigarette and letting the ashes hang over on the watery grave thing. Let's get into this now. There's been on more than one occasion.
Hold on, I got to put on my waders. We're gonna get this.
Yes, there's been more than one occasion I have been into a public restroom, and mind you, a major corporation restroom where educated people work. I mean, highly educated people work, and they even
at McDonald's.
They even say educated instead of educated. And I have gone into these places, and where you go up to the stand-up urinal. It looks like the Titanic.
Those are hard to sit down on.
It looks like somebody picked up the Titanic and let it drain on the floor a good foot in front of the urinal.
Old Piss River.
Now, are these people thinking that their one-eyed trouser snake is really that long? Or they are just too scared about the splashback factor?
They're going for distance. Look, okay, here. I'm going to go ahead and bestow upon all of the males out there in the sound of my voice. I'm about to give you some man science here. You're worried about the splash. Let's say you wear khakis to work every day.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't want that splashback or whatever.
Khakis.
45-degree angle, fellas. 45-degree angle. You hit it right on the edge of that lip where the porcelain folds back in on the urinal. Good to go.
It's been some major engineering going on
about fluid dynamics.
Yeah. Yep. And don't just don't pee on the floor. Good God, what is wrong with you people? And if you do, wipe it up.
Oh. Seriously, even if I'm standing right there.
Yeah, a little help. They need to get some people in.
Is it bad etiquette? Because I have this bad habit. I don't know if it's just me, but it's something that I've always done. If you're in a crowded bathroom and it's almost shoulder to shoulder in there when you're standing at the stalls and stuff.
Look over.
I like to reach over and grab the guy next to me's earlobe and just give it a little tug.
Oh, I was thinking where you look over and you go, "Nice penis, mister."
No, because talking would be weird.
Oh,
eye contact.
You never. No. I've told people before.
A friendly little earlobe tug.
I've told people before when in the public bathroom there is no talking. You do not talk. You do not make eye contact, and there's always a buffer stall. Especially if it's multiple urinals. It's even odd. You have to buffer. So anyway, there's this basic things that you people need to know. You need to practice because you're freaking me out.
There's a lot of etiquette that goes by the wayside nowadays, and you'd be surprised. You're trying to do some innocent foot tapping at a truck stop, and you end up getting your foot all wet.
You have to resign your congressional job. Yeah, I know what you mean. Only from reading about it, though. I don't know personally.
I said, do you now?
I see where you're going. I see those eyes clicking.
Oh, you guys need to click on this website right here. It's TonyandJosh.com. Very easy to go to, very easy to find, and of course, very easy to sign up for all of our feeds. And you guys can check out our entire show archive there for 100% free. That's right. And of course, if you guys subscribe to our iTunes feed, you will never miss a show.
Never.
Make sure you guys are downloading early and often, and be sure you tell a friend.
We would absolutely love, and I mean like peeing properly in the bathroom love, if you would share your story suggestions with us at info@TonyandJosh.com.
Send those stories in, guys. Dusty Dunn has done it. We thank him very often.
Yes, even by calling him a twisted sick bastard. So hang in there, or not necessarily hang in there, but don't forget to download our bonus segment about The Walking Dead, where Josh and I rant about what we saw on the most recent episode of The Walking Dead. And if you're a Mixlr listener, I did say that right. Mixlr just seems strange. If you're a Mixlr listener, hang around and you can listen to that Walking Dead review.